Interesting, but inshallah we're going to talk about this one. There are a lot of misconception about that as well. So inshallah, let's start with A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wa sayyidil mursalin. Nabiyyina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa azwajihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about this topic. But before that, inshallah, let's say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. The topic is about jinn, or demon, or spirits, we call it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has explained this in the Quran very explicitly. Why? There's a reason behind it. Because as we know, there are a lot of creatures Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. And among those creatures, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala especially mentioned about ins and jinn. And other scriptures talks about a little bit, but they don't talk about the way Quran talks about it. And we as a Muslim should believe all the unseen, from everything from Al-Ghā'ib. And jinn is among one of these things which is from Al-Ghā'ib, which is unseen. But we do believe there are signs, symptoms. We're going to talk about that, inshallah. Hold your question at the end, so that way when you go through, maybe a lot of those questions already answered what I'm covering. If not, then inshallah we'll see whatever we can answer at the end. The word and its derivatives occurs more than 29 times in Quran. A relative word, shaitan, and its plural, shaitana, together comes more than 80 times in Quran. And obviously, when we talk about that, we say, well, we do eat, we live, we have a family, we do have marriages, and all those happen, and kids happen, and all those. So they do eat, they do drink, and they do have their own family system. And how does this happen and all those? We're going to talk a little bit in detail of that. As there's a narration from Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, that before the creation of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, 2,000 years before mankind, that's the first mankind we relate back to. It says Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created him, before 2,000 years before, prior to that one, these jinns, they were there, they were existed. And they were part of living creature on this earth. They used to roam around, they used to do bloodshed, they used to fight among themselves, as we do, right? Humans do fight. So they used to do bloodshed and all this. That's what is mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah. If you read Ayah chapter 2, verse 30, that talks about that. That tells when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam. So the first question angel asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, you created this creature and you're going to send him, when the whole story behind, so we're going to cover that one inshallah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I'm going to send this Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam to back on earth, so he's going to live there. And then they referred back to what incident? Oh, so you're going to send them back to where they are? Jinns are. They used to fight among each other, they used to do bloodshed. And at that time, Allah, there's this reference of this ayah, in this reference it talks about that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the angels at that time, before the creation of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, or humankind. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the angels to push this creature on one side, so they won't do the corruption altogether. They were used to roam around and used to more corruption and bloodshed. So they push them on sides, so they don't just kind of freely run around. And then we says, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked in Surah Al-Baqarah, it talks about A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى وَاسْتَكْبَرَ وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. this is the one place where Allah subhanahu, I mean, this is one of the places where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has used the word Iblis for one of the shayateen. Among the shayateen, this is one of the words Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used, that he, what he did, disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, you created me from fire, from smokeless fire. And you created this creature from the clay, pottery clay. And you want me to just prostrate in front of this creature, the one you created? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as is mentioned in Surah Rahman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking in Surah Rahman about the same thing. But it says, خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ سَلْسَالٍ كَالْفَخَّارِ وَخَلَقَ الْجَانَ مِنْ مَارِجٍ مِنْ نَارٍ. We have created human with what? Pottery clay. And we created jinn from smokeless fire. So this is the proof Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you. This creature is created from what? From the fire. And the other one, humans, we are created from mud, clay, pottery clay we call it. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created both the creatures, it says, what is the reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created? And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains in Surah Al-Dariyah. It says, وَمَا خَلَقْتَ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. You may have heard this ayah again and again. Again and again. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created both creation for what? Nothing else but to submit. To submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To do the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created several other creatures. Allah talks about specifically humans and jinns. And most, if you read the Quran, most of the time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referred both of them. Like, for example, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to who? Which of the bounties of your Lord you deny. So it's not talking to just humans. It's talking to jinnah, to that makhluk as well. The creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, which of the bodies of you? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you read Surah Rahman, it talks about in length, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, what exactly you get, look at this, look at that, several signs, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, which of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala you deny? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Rahman, at one place, in Ayah 31, it says, سَنَفْرُغُ لَكُمْ أَيُّ الثَّقَلَانِ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. And then after this one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَا مَعْشَرَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ إِنِ اسْتَطَعْتُمْ أَن تُنْفُذُوا مِنْ أَقْطَارِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ فَانْفُذُوا لَا تَنْفُذُونَ إِلَّا بِسُلْطَانٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given these all signs of telling us and jinnah, that creation, that I have given you all that. But you cannot penetrate out of this sky or limit. You have your own limit. So as a human, we have our own limits. For the jinns, they have their own limits. And as according to a hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the jinns are of three kinds. One who flies through the air. Another one consists of snakes and dogs. So they can shape of snakes, dogs, and these animals, they can do that. And third is based on what? They are at one place, but when they need, they can travel. But they are constantly living at one place. So there are three categories of that. And it says the Amir jinn, the Amir is the local jinn, and the other one is shaitan, we call it shaitan. And the third one is Afreet. The local one is Amir, who is a resident and maybe the leader of one group or a group. And another one is used for a jinni who is malicious and has become wicked. So there's a difference between jinn. Jinn are who are humble. Shayateen, who are wicked. The one who goes to the wickedness, they become shayateen. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about shayateen wal ins wal jinn. It's from among the jinns and from the ins as well. So it's from the humans. If anyone, that's what you see sometimes people quote, he's become shaitan. Why they call it? Because his act reflects that way, that he becomes one of the wicked among the wicked ones, as a human or or is that among the jinns, among the spirit. On the other side, one is who's noble, who practice their own religion, the way we practice our religion. There are jinns among them who are believers and who are disbelievers. They are equally believers and disbelievers, like human beings. So that's why it says the one who becomes a noble, who try to understand what their reason behind it to come to this world or existence in this world, they are jinn. And this is the singular, and plural is jinnah. When you call it multiple, that's what it is. So among them, the one who is good, they become jinn. The one who is the other side, they become shaitan. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the word iblis for the one whose iblis is among the jinn. This is one of the things which in the previous scriptures did not talk about. In other testaments, it did not talk about those. What exactly? There's a misconception even among Muslims. You see, when Muslims talks about that, what they do, which it says, this jinn is different, and he was one of the angels. He was one of the angel who become disobedient from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and become the nafarman of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, disobeyed, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cursed him, and he becomes iblis, and that's what we call it. That's not the true definition. It says in Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about that, and it says in Surah Al-Kahf, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ فَفَسَقَ عَنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّهِ فَتَتَّخِذُونَهُ وَذُرِّيَّتَهُ أَوْلِيَاءَ مِنْ دُونِي وَهُمْ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ بِئْسَ لِلظَّالِمِينَ بَدَلًا. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when he asked angels to bow down, and in response to that, one of them, illa Iblis become them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, he is among what? He's among the jinns. He was among one of the jinns who disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that point. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, at that point, we know the history of the creation of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam and what happens. That's a whole big topic. That we're not going to cover that one, but we'll give a little bit of reference, because the whole story starts from there. From there onward, for the human beings, or as a human that we are right now in shape. So our great grandfather, or relates all the way back to Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam. Adam and Eve, the story. So from there it says, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descended them, they said, go and wait for my hadayah. When hadayah will come, so among you and your progeny, who will be righteous, they will go to heaven. And the one who disobey, they become the followers of what? Followers of the shaitan. He did not say the follower of the jinn, follower of the shaitan. Because shaitan, like I said, shaitan and jinn is two different things. Jinn, who's noble, the noble one, the one who practice religion and all those, they are jinn. And they have a long life. They have a very, very long life. Some people, they claim, or they call it amil, they do practice these things, and they just talks to them and whatever. And we're not going to go more in detail how they talk and all those, as I'm not qualified for that one, but we'll touch whatever they say, we'll claim what they claim. So based on that, when they talk and they say, some of them, and this proven already, that's proven from hadith as well, it says they have a long life. They have a long life, that's proven from the hadith. So based on hadith, what we quote here, that's appropriate. When they talk, they said they have a long life. Some jinns, their average life is 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 8, and whatever you can. 3, 4, 500 plus. So they are among them, they are there from thousands of years still. They're still alive. They are jinns among them. They are from Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam. They do exist in this earth. They do exist here, and they're from Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam, they are up to that far, and they can relate. And I mean, there are some incidents when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like Iblis is one of the examples, the greatest example. If Iblis, the one who disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, would have died, while Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran, other scriptures came, talks about the same shaitan, and keep going on and on and on, and it still talks about the same, like there's a Iblis, and you need to be careful, you need to be careful about from the followers of the Iblis. That's what it is. So you can see these are from long life, they have a long lives. They do have children. There's one incident happened at, if you have studied about, during the battle of Badr. During the battle of Badr, one of the guy, jinn, they have the capability, they can take the shape of humans as well. They can come in a human form. So one of the incident, it says that one of the guy, his name was mentioned in the history, Suraq ibn Malik. He came and he started talking to disbelievers when they were fighting against Muslim and Badr, so the battle of Badr. He talks, he says, go ahead and do, they can't do anything. Just go and fight with them, they can't do anything. So he persuaded them to fight. And what happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in response to the Iblis response, in response to that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Jibreel alayhi salam, Gabriel, to fight against that. And as soon as he saw Gabriel alayhi salam coming through, he said, well, what I see coming, you don't see. So he ran away. That's well authentic. That when he quoted, he says, what I see, you don't see. And I have a fear from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he ran away from there. And we know what happened at Badr and all those. We're not going to go in that detail. So these are the incidents I'm going to quote you here. So the world of the jinns, that's a distinct world, not exactly the way we live in the world. And we say, I mean, this is obviously they are on earth and everywhere. Like I said, there are three kinds of jinn. One is a resident, Amir, and another one who is shaitan, and another third one is Afrit. The Afrit one is who is strong, powerful, muscular in a way you can say, who can harm you more. There's one of the incident quoted by, there's a hadith talks about that one of the time Prophet Muhammad was there, and he was praying, and one of the Afrit, or the strongest one, he came and he tried to disturb him from his prayer. So he just grabbed him. He just grabbed him and tied up with a pole. Some says there's a two rawayat, one says pole, one says with a tree there. And he said, well, I'm going to show this one in the morning so people will believe and all those, and I'll tell them to just, mock him or do whatever. But later he quoted, he says, then I remember of Sulaiman alayhi salam. My brother, Sulaiman alayhi salam, Solomon was given an extreme power from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was one of the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given power, he controls the wind. So actually, wind was ta'abe of Sulaiman alayhi salam, Jinnah. So he can listen to the creatures. There's an incident of the ant. Ants were moving around, and then he listened to their conversation. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala quoted that incident to make us understand. Not just the ummah, we are the ummah of Allah, Prophet Muhammad, but the reason behind it, so we can relate to those incidents that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him that much of capability, so he can listen to what the ant was. Their things were going on, they says, and he heard the conversation and he conveyed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala quoted that incident in Quran for us. So he has a control over all the jinnah. And at that time, then Prophet Muhammad said, when I tied him up, I want to humiliate him. But after that, I thought about my brother Sulaiman alayhi salam, because of the dua of Sulaiman alayhi salam. Sulaiman alayhi salam make the dua that, oh Allah, the kingdom which I got, no one should have after me, after me. No one should have that.